Hey everybody, welcome back to Escape Reality Star Wars Talk. I'm your host Caleb.
Hi, I'm Seth. I talk Star Wars with this man. I was going to yawn, but
I mean, if you need to yawn,
fucking
you'll wait.
yeah.
Um, well, uh, I guess let's go ahead and usually before we get into Star Wars stuff, we like to talk about what we've been up to this week. That's potentially not Star Wars related. So I'll let you go ahead and start.
Oh man. While nothing has been too terribly important, I've recently I've been playing it. I've liked the new season of Fortnite. I've been playing that pretty consistently.
Is that the? Is it Power? Is it the Power Rangers season or?
We went from like Power Rangers to the K-pop to now Halloween shit.
Oh, okay. Did we art? So the K-pop Demon
K-pop is
Hunter is
done.
already done.
It's already done. And
I'm still getting advertisements for it.
I don't. I think it's just because I don't like. I don't know, man. I don't know why you're still getting ads for it.
Yeah, like if it's over, I shouldn't be getting ads for it.
But
yeah, you were saying though.
I like the whip you get from defeating Doja Cat. What?
That makes sense.
What do you mean that makes sense?
I'm just saying. You're gonna tell me you enjoying having a whip in a video game doesn't make sense?
The Indiana Jones is this. Oh man. But yeah, it's really good. I like being able me and Chris ran a couple of rounds. The news is if things work out well, I can usually get us pretty consistently within like 12 to like 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I think before I came here I did like a round on my own, managed to eke out a victory. I shouldn't have. That guy should have been able to kill me, but he missed at the last second. So there's that. I haven't really been doing the Bloodborne thing like I wanted.
Oh, yeah. I was about to ask.
Like, I did start a new game, and one of the things that I've noticed is because I was like, you know what? I'll just use the same equipment as the default hunter from like the box art type thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've noticed, man, did I really prefer it when I didn't do that.
Yeah. That tends to be true with a lot of video games where the design of, like, in a video game where you can change gear,
Mm-hmm.
the design you see on the box art is for aesthetics, not for
Yeah.
actual use.
And
So aesthetically, you look cool,
mm-hmm.
but you probably aren't performing at your best.
No. And the reason why is because of two things. While like both things have their strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the blunderbuss, which is the default like offhand option
Mm-hmm.
for Bloodborne, you basically get the choice between a blunderbuss or a pistol. What do you think the big difference between those two is?
The range and probably like the type of damage.
Mm-hmm. The other, so the blunderbuss works really well against creatures that are really big.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have as far of a range for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
It's also a lot slower.
Once again, for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm. So it took me a while to like I'm still adjusting to that. And the saw cleaver which once again, because Hunter,
Mm-hmm. Hunter?
Hun- Hunter,
Oh, sorry, I was doing the Hunter.
oh my heck. But like, there is a character in that game that also everyone else has like, in general, a normal pronunciation of Hunter, even though like the accents vary.
Mm-hmm.
Except there's like one character, Eileen the Crow. I really like that old bird lady. She's not actually a bird. That's just what her job is, a hunter of hunters, which is like, hey, in case what a hunter of hunters is pretty obvious. It's in the name. They're like, in case a hunter goes crazy, a hunter of hunter. I've said hunter too many times.
It's almost not a word.
It's almost not a word. Is to go and be like, to mercy kill them. Because the blood makes you crazy in Yarnum. On top of maybe that other shit called insight, which fucks you up pretty bad.
So she's not Dee from Always Sunny? She's not a bird?
She's not a bird. She's like got a really heavy like Northern English accent. So instead of like Hunter, she's like Hunter.
Yeah.
Like, would you take out the U and you put two O's there?
Yeah.
Also, I really like her questline. It's fun. She's like, all right, fine. I am getting too old for this shit.
Valid.
She really does sound like someone's grandma just has been dealing with a lot. But so is everyone else in Yarnum. That's normal.
Yeah.
What else? I guess I'll talk not terribly extensively. Man, I fucking lied a lot as Boone last night.
Yeah, so we did we actually had 2 weeks in a row of Grim Hollow, which is a miracle.
And like Chris and I were talking about it a little bit. And I was like, how many times do you think he lied? And he's like, dude, at least about 2 hands worth.
Well,
and the weird thing is, he's like, the Boone lies like he's telling the truth.
yeah. I don't think the last episode is out yet, so I think...
No, that's not...
So...
I don't think it's spoilers what I just said.
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking ahead. I'm like, last episode's not out yet, and then the upcoming... The one we did last night is... So, the previous episode, I think, comes out soon, though.
I know that
actually, no, it came out...
only one.
Actually, it might have came out today, actually. Or yesterday. Might be tomorrow. Let me double check. It's pretty soon.
Yeah, I know that the one for, like, if you're a member...
Yeah, you can watch it ahead.
Came out.
Okay, no, it's already out. So, I get... Yeah. It came out 2 days ago. So, but Ravenloft is currently still members only for the most recent episode of that.
Can't talk about that one yet.
But, yeah, last night was interesting. I was exhausted, man. I managed to get through it, though.
I think all of us were pretty low energy last night, but
It wasn't a bad episode. It was
No.
definitely more of a... It was a more laid-back episode. There's zero combat, actually. Yeah. Although I prepped 3 different combats.
We were like, you know what we're not gonna do?
Combat.
And
there's a reason for that. If you have watched the most recent episode, you will know that they got beat up some more, and they still haven't rested since getting to where they are. I
also realized that, like, because Boone has the Periopt, I don't have to fucking spend as many hit dice when I rest anymore.
Oh.
Because it doubles the amount you get back from hit dice.
Okay.
And I used half of mine when I didn't need to. I only needed to use like 3.
Oh.
But I was like, I said I used them, so I'm gonna mark off that I did.
Oh, okay, is that what that realization was?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the without anything else happening. Just I'm a dumbass.
But it was a lot of excuse me, social
Mhm.
stuff last night.
So if you like dialogue episodes,
Yeah.
that one is full. What about you? What have you been up to?
Finished watching Peacemaker, because that Peacemaker season 2 ended, which is at the end of the show.
Mhm.
Also,
I
I
remember
don't
Chris and Ethan were kind of like
meh on
disappointed
it. Yeah,
by it.
I'm not. So I don't know if they were. I know Ethan might have been disappointed because lack of cameos knowing Ethan, but for me, it's more narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It feels it's a good episode, but it feels like the season finale for a show where you know season 3 is going to happen.
Yeah, they were kind of like, it's kind of fucked up to end on a cliffhanger like that.
Did they tell you what happened?
No, and to be honest,
It's also pretty soon, so I wouldn't throw it out into the universe. Yeah, I would definitely have.
I neither know nor
I know, but if I was going to talk about it, I would throw up the spoiler. You know, let's throw up the spoiler warning. I want to talk about it.
You're being warned. There's a loud alarm for it.
Yeah, we're going to talk Peacemaker season 2. I will, I guess, play that again when we're done talking about it. So now's your chance to dip out for a second. So they throw Peacemaker in, or Chris, because he's not really doing he hasn't used his gun the whole season, which is part of the themes of him trying to be a better person, but still getting people killed in the process, such as himself. He killed himself in another universe. Also, excuse me. Also, themes of depression and suicide are also throughout the season. But he ends up getting thrown into Sanctuary, which is a planetary prison by Rick Flag Sr. And that's where the show ends.
I see.
No resolution with the Earth X stuff. So, no resolution. Like, we don't see Keith. No Keith coming back to fight and kill them for killing Blue Dragon or anything like that. Even though that's seems like the obvious thing that should have happened. No resolution really on the Argus stuff. In fact, the Argus stuff gets worse. Rick Flag Sr. is literally the pawn of Lex at this point. Because they're working together to find they were trying to find the perfect planet prison, like otherworld prison to be like to throw meta-humans in, which of course Lex wants that for Superman.
Yeah.
And Rick Flag Sr. wants it for Peacemaker because he's upset about his son dying still. And I disagree with anybody that says Rick Flag Sr. was acting out of character, because there's a lot of people that said that seems out of character for... No, Rick Flag Sr. is a dumbass. Let's not forget Creature Commandos, where he literally almost got the world into a war because he was thinking with his little Rick and not his brain. And also got Nina killed in the process.
You have to remind me of that shit, man.
That it's his fault Nina's dead because he...
No, that Nina's dead.
The only friend to our beloved GI robot.
Yeah, it's like...
Like, if it wasn't for Bride, Earth would be, would be fucked. Rick Flag did not do jack shit to save the world.
No.
He almost made it worse, actually. So anybody that says, oh, Rick Flag Sr.'s acting out of character by falling for Lex Luthor's stuff. No, he's not. No, he's not. This is absolutely Rick Flag Sr.
Smartest man in the world.
The one that Rick Flag Sr. would be the first to admit that he is the wrong Rick Flag to be alive. Rick Flag Jr. is the better Rick Flag. He is the one that would actually be saving the world and actually doing stuff correctly. Um, but anyways, yes. So that's where the show ends. Is they create checkmate. They create checkmate. Out of by which is like another spy agency, right? And they make it with the Peacemaker, with the 11th Street kids, so the Peacemaker crew. Which I like that. I don't like having 2 music video montages essentially in the episode,
Okay.
and so that you could have cut them both either a little bit shorter or just cut them out altogether, depending on which one. And so yeah, that's my opinion, especially because James Gunn hyped up the episode and was like, "This is the longest episode. It's 57 minutes long," and everybody's like, "Oh, cool! So a lot of stuff is gonna happen." And yes, a lot of stuff happens, but it's more stuff that's going to be. It's pretty much a sneak preview for the rest of what's coming next, and less of anything getting resolved here. Other than we get the man versus self stuff resolved. Like Chris kind of finally comes to terms with that. He's not this monster that he believes he is. He's not the reason that all these people around him die. He is a good person, and he's, or at least he's trying to be, right. And he is a better person, and he's somebody that has a lot of people do have faith in him and believe in him and want the best for him, because he has his friends Adebayo and Economos, even if he's a coward sometimes, and obviously Adrian, and then of course Hardcourt, who finally admits that yes, she did like him. Whether or not, and then of course now we've got some people who have defected from Argus who are now part of Checkmate, but you also have some people that are still working for both, because Bordeaux, the cyborg, kind of is working for both, because when, I don't know if anybody noticed this, when Chris gets thrown into Sanctuary, she's in the shadow, like you see her silhouette. She's there with Rick Flag Sr. and the rest of Argus that throws him in there. So, but obviously this is going to be a problem, because basically the reason they get away with it is they go, "Hey, you signed papers agreeing to be a test subject for us," and so they tricked him into signing papers that. Well, fucking Rick Flag Sr.
God damn it.
For Ricky. But yeah, and so that's where we left off, and of course the next thing I think that's coming out is Lantern Show or Supergirl. And so the Lantern Show, so what James Gunn said, we're done talking spoilers, really, so I'll let y'all know. So anybody that was worried about spoilers, we're done. But so according to James Gunn, Green Lantern are obviously going to have to deal with the problem of that sanctuary situation, because they are technically considered metahumans, especially the ones that are from Earth.
Yeah, I mean, like, I see why.
Especially when it seems they are alluding to some real stuff going on, where people are just being put away places, whether or not they've done anything. And I think that is the point of that's being made with Sanctuary. I think that is done on purpose, because creatives do things on purpose. They don't just go, "Oh, this happened to be similar to something going on right this second." No, that if it's similar to something going on right this second, it's more than likely 90% on purpose. Or at the very least, they realized that it was a subject worth talking about, whether or not they meant to make a direct parallel. Right? Because like Andor Season 2, Tony Gilroy was like, "I didn't expect it to be as relevant as it was. It was something that I think was going to be relevant, but I didn't think it would be this relevant." He's like, "I was more looking at history than I was at the present." And so, yeah, besides Peacemaker, though, this one's Star Wars related. I haven't played it yet, but I got Star Wars Unlimited Intro Battle Hoth, which comes with 2 starter decks. It's a Leia Invader with new cards for the decks that are specifically in this set. And a little board, and it's, so you can easily learn the game. As it says, intro battle. It's literally for you to learn the game, which is great. Although, you already know the game. I've taught you. But we could still play it.
Politely, I don't remember a damn thing.
We could still play it then. I was also going to teach my dad. But yeah, it was only $20. I thought I saw it was more somewhere, but it was only $20. Can't think of anything else major right now. I know next week we won't be doing the pod because doing Halloween movie marathon next week.
Yeah.
So, gonna watch some scary movies.
Mm-hmm. So I guess without further ado,
You want to talk news?
do we have to?
Well, it is New York Comic Con this week, as of Thursday. I think it's started. Thursday or Friday officially started. So we got, of course, some new announcements. We got starting off. Well, before we get into New York Comic Con stuff, I want to talk about something we talked about last week.
What's up?
We got confirmation about the Ahsoka season 2 wrapping of filming. So they are officially done filming. This is coming from Shin Hati's actress Ivana Sakono. We have on her Instagram actual exterior footage of Pinewood Studios, which is where a lot of Star Wars has been filmed at over the history. But yeah, and then of course we got basically a lot of other cast members, including Natasha Liu Bordizzo, who plays Sabine, going, yep, we're basically a lot of, oh, it's over, we gotta, and as for the journey, it only gets more epic with a cool little photo that's just the silhouette of Sabine and Ahsoka. And so, and also another one that's her leaving Richmond, which I guess was a filming location, because they were there for 7 months. So yeah, so that's official confirmation on that. So that was something that we talked about last week that is now confirmed. So that's exciting. That means we're actually getting progress somewhere. As for New York Comic Con news, we've got a announcement about a new book called Star Wars Legacy, which is going to it was just listed, so they let me see if we got information on that book or not, but it was listed by Random House Worlds. Let's see, this first article doesn't confirm that it will be talked about fully, but maybe this other article I've got does have information, because this was before the publishing panel happened. So in that book, but Star Wars Legacy, the information we know at least from that is that it's coming out July 28th next year. And Legacy and the problem with Star Wars Legacy is that's a vague title that could tie into multiple things. It could tie into the Legends Legacy comics, the least likely. It could also tie into the Legacy novels that were from Legends, also unlikely, but a little bit closer to likelihood, like just a canon retelling of that type of story. Because of the Legacy comics, there's some people that are speculating that it might tie into Darth Talon, as some people have speculated that Darth Talon will become a canon character and be the antagonist for the Maul TV show. Because at some point George tried to make a canon version of her, and was gonna have like Maul and her team up, and yeah, it was gonna.
The old thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, she's the
It took.
red. She's the red.
It took me a second. I was like, I know that name. Why do I know that name?
If you have ever been down the rabbit hole of Sith Lords that Star Wars fans thirst over, you know Darth Talon.
Yep.
You're like, why do I know that name?
Who are you?
Why'd you say that name? Martha. Okay. No, we do got. So we do actually have a cover. Actually, so the publishing panel did apparently talk about it. Let's see what we got here. On the cover is Leia, Rey, and Kylo, which does make sense towards the title of Legacy. Let me go ahead and see if I can pop this in for y'all to see. That way y'all can get a little look at it too. I'm working with a new program.
Yeah.
So we're just... There we go.
He's getting used to the...
Oh, well, it stretched on me. Hold on. I know what happened here. For some reason. Oh, hold on. Oh, no. There we go. Much better. So yes, so that is the cover for this. I like that cover. That's a nice cover. Before we even like, it kind of already tells you what the book is about without having to read a synopsis, which I think a good book cover should do. It should draw your attention, and it should kind of give you the vibe of what the book is about. A vibe. It shouldn't tell you exactly what the book is about, but it should give you the vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's a good cover. And it's going to be from Madeline Rowe. Let me see if we know anything about that author. Because that name doesn't immediately come up as familiar to me.
You're not having a who are you?
So she has written for some World of Warcraft and Dungeons and Dragons books.
Who contributed to the story Eclipse from a certain point of view?
Okay, yeah. So she wrote for a couple from a certain point of view. Wrote the short story Eclipse, which is about, funny enough, Leia, and well, it's actually about Queen Brea, but on Alderaan. But it's very much already attached to Leia as a character, so that makes sense that they would get her to write something that, at least from the cover, tells me it's going to be attached to Leia, right? That's why I didn't recognize her for the Dungeons and Dragons one. She wrote that one under a pen name. But she has also written some stuff for Critical Role. She wrote The Nine Eyes of Lucian.
I know what they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in who that is, but it's been a while. The specifics elude me.
I haven't read that particular book, but I know that the Critical Role books are pretty good. So that at least gives me confidence on the author side. Let's see. Upcoming novel will be set between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. That makes sense because you got that year gap.
Mm-hmm.
So that year between episode 8 and 9 in there isn't a lot yet. So you can fill that space. Let's see. According to the synopsis we got, set between episodes 8 and 9, Rey and Leia embark on a quest to repair Rey's lightsaber and rekindle the legacy of the Jedi. After barely escaping the First Order on Crate, Rey and the Resistance are struggling to rebuild. Her friends need the Last Jedi more than ever, but Rey feels alone and overwhelmed. Jedi tradition is built on masters and apprentices, and Rey's teacher is gone. Leia Organa tries her best to train Rey in the ways of the Force, as Luke did for her so many years ago, but Leia's knowledge is limited. Rey's lightsaber is broken, and the specter of Kylo Ren and regrets from the past haunt them both. How can Leia pass the torch when she herself is unsure of the way? But then the ancient Jedi texts offer a glimmer of hope, a long forgotten Jedi temple on Tython that might hold the key to repairing Rey's saber. Rey leaps at the chance to journey there, and to her surprise, so does Leia. Rey and Leia's nascent mentorship is put to the test when they discover the Temple of on Tython is filled with obscure clues to decipher and arcane trials to complete. As they work to unravel the temple's mysteries, they encounter a group of refugees living in its shadows, hiding from a First Order officer hot on the trail of two freedom fighters in their midst. With the threat of the First Order looming and the secrets of the temple yet to be unlocked, the newly forged master and apprentice must confront their past, reach each other in the present, and decide what it means to carry the legacy of the Jedi into the future. I like this premise. Thoughts? Concerns?
I think it'll be a fine book.
Yeah, like, I like this premise. We don't have... Because I think we need more Leia stuff in canon. Leia is a character that I'm always happy to see put in the front. We definitely need more Rey stuff. And we definitely need more sequel trilogy era things. To kind of... Because if people are going to come to the same conclusion about the sequel trilogy that they did about the prequel trilogy, where, like, originally people were like, the prequel trilogy kind of sucks, but now people appreciate it more. We need more content within that era, because that appreciation for the prequel trilogy was not built off of just the movies. It was built off having a TV show and having a ton of books and comics and stuff that all took place in that era. And so I think the sequel trilogy needs that as well. And so I'm glad to see that. Unfortunately, the sequel trilogy is also a shorter timeline than the prequels. Literally, 7 and 8 take place within days of each other. And then you only get a year between 8 and 9. That's it for time.
Yeah. I would rather that than the fucking 5, 6, 17 different things happen, you know?
Yeah. We're nothing too crazy.
I
Like,
don't want to go through the Crimson Dark Droid War Bounty.
yeah, where all that happens within a 3-year gap.
Like, I know realistically it could happen within a 3-year gap, but it's one of those, like...
Actually, no, that one's the 1-year gap, isn't it? No, wait.
Because it happens between 5 and 6.
Yeah.
It's one of those...
Yeah. So it's a 1-year gap, I think. Yeah.
It's like, can we not...
Yeah. We don't quite have that problem yet with the sequel trilogy. But we do need more stuff in that era, I think, to... Yeah. So...
And then, like, we've gone over this with the prequels. It's like, I know what shirt you were wearing on January 3rd, 2003 at 4:57 in the morning.
I know what type of cereal Anakin Skywalker had before the Battle of whatever. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, but we don't have that yet. So the sequel trilogy, I think, is fine if we can kind of build up to that a little bit, but not get to that same level of too muchness. And plus, filling in the gap of Rey rebuilding her lightsaber isn't a bad thing. That's a simple thing that, like, okay, cool. And we get to go to the Tython, one of my favorite, like, Legends material planets that have been canonized by The Mandalorian and other projects that continue to visit it. And we've only really seen it twice in canon now. So this will be 3.
Does this look Jedi to you?
And so having Tython would be cool. I do like the idea of Tython. And plus, getting some actual Jedi stuff in Tython would be cool, because we didn't really get that with Mandalorian. They were like, let's go there. And then we have the big Boba Fett scene, and that's the season 2 Boba Fett showing up, and the Razor Crest getting blown up, and all that going down, right? When Gideon kidnaps Grogu. And then just before Mando gives him up to Luke. The only Jedi thing we get is Grogu calling upon Luke to pick him up, essentially, through that temple. As far as other books we got, Speaking of similar topics to today's, a Star Wars romance novels. We're getting a new line of them apparently,
Oh boy.
um, which is exciting because we haven't. While we will talk about how today's it leans into the romance genre, it is not a full romance novel.
Hmm.
The last full romance novel we had was Lost Stars from Claudia Gray, which was Claudia Gray's first Star Wars book. Um, so, and you haven't had a chance to read that yet, but that is the book that gave a lot of people confidence in her and why she has continued to again and again prove why she is one of the current best Star Wars authors, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions. But this one,
I,
oh, go ahead. You had something.
yeah, I'm familiar with Claudia Gray's work, particularly on how she likes to hurt people with romance.
Yeah. Uh,
I'm not gonna forgive you for what you did with Marta and Zink.
this one is coming from Ashley Poston, and it is going to be it's going to be young adult focused, and it's going to take place a year and a half before The Force Awakens, and it's called Eyes Like Stars. That's a good romance novel title, actually. Let me see similarly what we got for Ashley Poston. Yeah, so it looks like she does a lot of romance stuff. I don't see any Star Wars, so this will be straight up her first Star Wars book. Exciting. But let me go ahead and share the cover because that is a good cover. They are coming out with bangers for these covers. That is a good cover for this genre. Like, that's the other thing you got to think about when you think about these covers is, does it fit the genre? And I think yes. And then it looked like I saw some High Republic adventure stuff. Interesting. So I was correct that the High Republic is not over entirely in terms of, like, yes, the big project is over, but we're still getting stuff that's going to be set during it. I like that I was correct. We are getting a new High Republic Adventures miniseries called Pathfinders that will be coming from George Mann. And it's said to be set 20 years after Phase 2.
Mm.
And it will follow a brand new team of Republic Pathfinders as they are dispatched to a distant corner of the galaxy to investigate the strange death of a Jedi Master. With the first issue coming out March next year. And we did get covers for issues 1 and 2. Let me go ahead and share those. And it looks like somebody has a certain shield on issue 2. I'm laughing because I saw what the next thing we're going to talk about is. But yeah, I like the cover for that. But I especially like the cover for issue 2. Because Salandra Show's shield is there. Who would have it at this point? Because they got passed down, didn't it? Already?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I'll have to reread some of the stuff.
We had, like, Salandra, then her apprentice.
Yeah, I think she... Yeah, so it's probably her...
Then Reeve.
Well, but that's going to be way down the line. 20 years later, it might just be her apprentice.
True.
Yeah. So that's on the Dark Horse end. But on the Marvel end, we're getting something completely different in tone. And I'm excited. We are getting a Jar Jar Binks one-shot comic that is written by Ahmed Best, a.k.a. the actor who plays Jar Jar, and Mark Guggenheim, which we've learned to trust Mark Guggenheim's writing. I'm interested to see... I don't know if this is the first time Ahmed Best has written anything. I might have to do some research into that. But that is interesting. It's only a one shot. It would have been funnier if they did a mini series. I would be curious what they would do if it was a mini series, but a one shot is fine. I think that's probably you don't need anything too crazy. Um, Apparently, though, it will also feature Keller and Beck in a story that is said to involve the rebellion in some fashion. So it sounds like this is a post episode 3 Jar Jar story, which we don't have a lot of. The only thing we know is what happens to him in Aftermath, which is like after the entire original trilogy. So something episode 3, post episode 3, but pre episode 6. Probably pre episode 4 if Keller and Beck's involved. That's the Jedi that Ahmed plays. So he's getting both of his characters in this comic. I see what you're doing here. Although I'm always happy to see more Keller and Beck as well as Jar Jar. Some more information. We're apparently getting a original Star Wars Visions manga. Tsukumo, which will be from the team that did the most recent Ultraman manga. The premise is, in the wake of Order 66, a lone Jedi Knight accompanies a pair of droids to a rumored droid's paradise while being pursued by the Empire. And holy shit, I already love the cover. I feel like you also appreciate that cover. That is a good cover. Hold on. Once again. Boom. Look at that. Got like the clone trooper helmet with the lightsaber. Oh. It's really clone trooper commando helmet, really. Almost in design. But I really like it. That's so far Star Wars Publishing, Lucasfilm Publishing for the books. Okay. And then of course, we also are getting the Art of Star Wars Andor, which is supposed to be both seasons 1 and 2. That's in May. We're also getting the Art of the Mandalorian and Grogu, which will be on April 28th, as well as the Mandalorian visual guide, which will include stuff from Mandalorian Season 3 and Book of Boba Fett as well. And then, of course, we got a bunch of stuff that's tied in promotionally to Mandalorian and Grogu. Got a bunch of kids' books. We also are getting... looks like... Webtoons is going to be adding Black, White, and Red from the Darth Vader Black, White, and Red miniseries, as well as the Lost Stars manga adaptation to its site. Other than that, that's it. Charles Soule did tease us before, because of course Charles Soule had to, that he is still thinking about a possible book about Porter Engle, The Broken Blade. So that's still on the list of things we are supposed to get, because we have been talking about getting The Broken Blade since we did the first the Blade miniseries. So, but it sounds like it might be turned into a book instead of a comic, because he said book, he didn't say comic. So maybe the idea outgrew a comic.
Maybe we'll see how it goes.
Because I think that's probably what happened. Is he's had so much time to think about it that it's now become bigger than a miniseries, and so he says, "Well, we need to do a book instead." Any of these in particular you most excited for? Anything that seems eh?
I'd say I'm interested in Tsukumo because obvious reasons.
You like the Visions stuff.
I can see the appeal to what was it?
The
The romance novel.
Oh, actually. Yeah, the romance novel. Yeah.
Not so much for the legacy one. Like, I'm glad that we're moving forward, but I'm also still like,
It's a until you read it sort of situation.
no, not
Not even
that.
that.
It's more of a, god damn it, can we progress the timeline?
I think I
Like,
think they
I
want to
think,
fill in, I think they want to fill in gaps
yeah,
before we
and I think you
progress.
have to do that. But I'm also, once again, like, between those two, I'd rather progress the timeline.
Yeah. Well, that is news. Let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. I think before let's see, because we've been going almost an hour. So we might take a quick break real quick, have some ads, and then come back and talk our main topics for today. There we go. Hey, welcome back. Okay, main topics for today. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
We are going to go into spoilers for Dark Disciple.
Yep.
As well as Galactic Tales. What was it? My brain just.
Hold on.
I got it. The Failing of the Light. That's what it is. Got it. So, spoiler alert now. We will start with Dark Disciple, because chronologically. Although Failing of the Light kind of spans the war.
Yeah.
So Dooku committed a genocide.
Yes, he did. Whew. That is the opening of this book.
So the premise of this is something that we have talked about, which is the Jedi are finally just fed up with it and go, hey, well, let's just assassinate Dooku.
Mm-hmm. Let's just kill him.
Which the council seems to be all on board for, except for Obi-Wan and Yoda are kind of on the fence of it. And Mace is the one who suggests it. Well, that's not true. Somebody kind of, like, Mace doesn't fully suggest it, but, like, he starts to. Somebody then presents it fully, and then he's just like, yeah, if we need to, might as well.
And Obi-Wan's counter argument is basically, we're Jedi, the fuck is wrong with all of you? And everyone else is like, counterpoint, Dooku just committed a genocide. This war has been going on for 2.5 to 3 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And we're fucking tired of it.
They're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
So, the question then becomes, well, who do we send?
Yeah. And Obi-Wan, for all of his reservations, is like, I might know a guy.
And, yep, and that guy happens to be Quinlan, who is really good at going undercover. So in fact, we start with him finishing up a job.
Yeah.
That almost gets ruined, but he saves it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, we'll kind of skip a bit, so that
Yep.
way, because we started late today and we're already, an hour in almost.
Yeah, my energy is depleted as well.
Because
that's been normal for me recently.
Let's just talk about some of our favorite moments. So the premise of the book is that they send Quinlan, and Quinlan goes, well, I need somebody who knows information about Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan once again is like, fuck, I know somebody.
Yep. And she fucking hates Dooku.
But she's also not a fan of Jedi.
Yeah.
It's Ventress.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, hey, don't tell Ventress you're a Jedi. Go undercover. Get her to train you on how to kill Dooku. Get in, get out. Mm-hmm. Not what happens.
No.
Quinlan falls in love with Ventress as she's training him. Ventress, he also tells her, although
Yes.
Ventress is like, I knew.
Yeah, I know. It's like I figured it out on one of our bounty missions. You and that kid should have fucking died.
Yeah. Um, and so they agree to help each other. Ventress trains them in the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
They kill like a creature that's from her homeworld as
Yep.
part of his training from Dathomir.
Ventress, you need to be able to kill things, and he's like,
And not feel bad.
and not feel bad about it.
Yeah. I forgot that this is a copy I got signed. And then they do make their first attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Botch it.
Yeah,
It's so bad.
it don't go well.
Quinlan gets captured.
Mm-hmm.
I think I made the joke in Discord that it was the lightning scene from Knights of the Republic when Malik's trying to turn Bastila to the dark side. I think I put the image up, but I didn't have I couldn't find one that was her being shocked.
Mm-hmm.
But I also couldn't say what was going on. I was like, out of context. Here's this. And this was at a point when you hadn't read any of the book yet.
No.
In context now, it
In
makes
context,
sense.
It makes sense.
Guys, it's basically that. It's Dooku torturing Quinlan until he turns
Mm-hmm.
to the dark side. And he becomes Officer...
Fucking
Admiral Enigma. That's what it is. Admiral Enigma.
I'm like, that's a name, all right.
That's a name that tells me you're supposed to be somebody I know who's trying to keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when Ventress tries to tell the Jedi, hey, I think Quinlan is this Admiral Enigma guy, they're like, nah.
Yeah.
He didn't turn to the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
And then they break him out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was Ventress tries to do it.
Yeah, Ventress teams up with the bounty hunters to break him out it is also meant to be attempt number 2 at Dooku's life as well, and that goes horribly.
Yeah, I think that because so for some context, I read this over the course of 3 days after putting it off for like 2 weeks.
So basically not for lack of me giving you time, it's more for you just not doing it.
Yeah. I'll admit, I'm just a slacker sometimes.
He didn't do he waited till the last second to do the homework.
Yeah.
I do want to share the animatic.
And so, like, I think for that one, I was like, oh, this is Ventress's horrible, no good, very bad day.
Yeah, that's what you said.
It's like,
Where did I put it in Escape Reality, didn't I? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to remember which channel it was in. Let me go ahead and do window capture and grab that real quick. So let's talk a little bit behind the scenes and why I'm going to show this clip. So this book was originally 8 episodes of Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a section in here that's Katie Lucas talking about I think
it's over.
I think it's at the end. It's either the... No, it's the forward. Okay. So yeah, it's George Lucas's daughter, Katie, who wrote the episodes. She talks about that in the forward. But also, since the show got canceled, we didn't get those episodes. But obviously, they still had some progress going on by that point. And so, at one of the Star Wars celebrations, they showed... Because they were showing a lot of animatics. That's where we got the unfinished episode stuff. That's where we got the Boba Fett versus Cad Bane, where we learned that Boba got his little dent from shooting from a shootout with Cad Bane. They had a little little classic high noon standoff, and Cad hit that spot where the dent is in the Boba Fett helmet. But another thing we got was this clip from the episode from the Dark Disciple arc that we read. Let me. Yeah. Nope. I don't like how that looks. Hold on. For some reason it's really zoomed in a weird way. I think we'll do that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make it a little bigger for everybody. There we go. So, this is what we got of that scene. And like you said, while they do win because they capture him for a second, look how much effort it took. It took a lot.
Yeah.
I love the Embo getting hit by his own hat. Oh, yeah, doggos. Whee! Even the... I can just imagine Boba going, oh, shit.
Ah, fuck.
Ugh.
That had to hurt.
Even with all that armor. And yeah, so that was all we had back in the day, other than the book.
So while they're doing that, Ventress is having a fucking saber battle with Quinlan in the hallway. Unfortunately, if I'm to believe Quinlan at this moment, it is the worst time for her to show up. Because this is a romance novel, and one of the partners always lies to another, I was like, yeah, you killed his master, didn't you? And you don't want him to know.
Well, we already got that information by this point.
Yeah.
That's...
We, the reader,
well,
know.
no.
And Dooku is just...
Dooku's already dropped that information on Voss.
Yeah. But what I'm...
is that Ventress doesn't know that he knows yet.
Yes.
Yeah. That is correct. Because Voss did ask that about that from her earlier in the book, and she lied.
Mm-hmm.
She said, yeah, Dooku did that. And then as part of Dooku trying to turn him to the dark side, Dooku's like, nah, she lied to you. And here's the video footage.
Yeah. Here's your master's lightsaber.
Use your little psychometry ability to see if I'm lying.
Not lying. Fucking Darksiders. What if I told you the truth about this one terrible thing?
But only... This is like one of the only times I'll tell you the truth. From here on out, I'm going to be a liar. But just to turn you to the dark side just enough, I'm going to tell you this one little bit of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, though, he does willingly leave. And then and then at this point, it's the other way around now, where the Jedi think that Quinlan's turn, and Ventress is like, I don't feel it on him.
Mm-hmm. Also, the fucking training that, like, Ventress puts him through. Fucking... goddamn poison. I'm like, yep. thought that might happen.
But yes, they do eventually capture both Quinlan and Dooku after learning the truth about Quinlan, for sure. Especially because he then goes on, when they break out of prison, he goes to kill his friend.
Mm-hmm.
His Jedi friend.
Yeah.
Which I think is Quinlan's turning point when he realizes, oh, I've gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Quinlan's playing the big game. Because he's doing the thing every Jedi who goes undercover does. He's like, oh, I'm going after the big fish, which means I gotta go really dark side. But then you actually become evil for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Happened to Ulick Qel-Droma in Tales of the Jedi. Happens to Quinlan. Happens to... There was another example we've had where somebody went undercover. Can't remember now.
Yeah.
But we've had a few examples of that where you go undercover and pretend to be dark side. It happens for real. You don't pretend to go to the dark side. Mainly because the dark side's supposed to be kind of like a drug. So that's like going, I'm just going to do a little bit of cocaine.
Microdose on the dark side.
Yeah, you microdose on the dark side.
Oh.
Are you thinking of the South Park episode too?
A little bit, yeah.
Randy, I'm just microdosing on the dark side.
You had fucking 8 in a row, man. It's not microdosing. That's just dosing.
Oh, man. But yeah. And basically, because he's basically learned about Darth Sidious through, like, his training with Dooku. And Dooku continuing to do the thing he was doing with Ventress, which is, hey, we're going to overthrow Sidious.
Mm-hmm.
And Sidious going, the fuck you are.
Sidious, I doubt that. You're free to try. If you want.
We saw what happened last time. I told you to get rid of Ventress, and you did. Because you know better. You didn't kill her, though, which is the problem we're having now. So, basically, Obi-Wan and Anakin follow Ventress and Quinlan and Dooku because they are going to supposedly meet with Sidious.
Yes.
Sidious, of course, says, fuck that, I ain't showing up.
Yep. He's like, I have an entire fucking war to run and a government on top of that.
Also, I smell a trap when it's set for me.
Yeah. What do you think I am? Any other character in this fucking series?
So Sidious backs out and doesn't go. And so instead, Quinlan is like, well, I guess we'll just take this opportunity to kill Dooku then.
Yep.
And so him and Ventress team up again, start to attack Dooku. Obi-Wan and Anakin were just watching and decided to not get involved with that fight. Instead, they get caught up in fighting battle droids and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Ventress dies because Dooku shocks the fuck out of her.
Yeah.
Because he was aiming for Quinlan, but Ventress said, no, I will sacrifice my body for you because I love you.
Every Darksider, once they get to the point of, like, Dooku and Palpatine, gets one use of unlimited power. That's special.
Speaking of the whole I love you stuff in this book, I do want to call out, because I already made one Knights of the Republic reference. I should have made another one, because I know you've at least watched the cutscenes and stuff. So, you know, in Knights of the Republic, there's only one way to redeem Bastila when she goes dark side, right? You got to go down a certain dialogue tree. You have to do the right dialogue. There is no using your persuasion or anything.
Yeah.
Doing that actually makes things worse. Don't try to persuade. Use actual, like, specific dialogue tree. And of course, one of those is the I love you line, right? And that's what pulls her back, right? I think it's very funny, and also kind of a fuck you to Knights of the Republic,
Mm-hmm.
that Ventress tries that and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And when Quinlan's initially in the dark side stuff, she tries to pull that, and Quinlan's like, "No." When I was re-listening to the audiobook for that part, I was like, "Oh yeah. Usually in Star Wars, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that works."
Not this time, though.
No, what ultimately pulls him out 100% is when Asajj sacrifices herself. Um, and of course, Dooku gets away.
Yeah, he has to,
Because episode 3 has to happen.
Yeah. I'm still over here, like, because I have foreknowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought...
I was going to say, with the knowledge that she comes back, how is her dying different compared to, like, somebody who read it before? Like, for me, I read it when it came out.
So going in with that knowledge, I'm like, it's actually one of the reasons why it took so long to even start reading the book. I'm like, I had why should I read this book if I know exactly what is going to happen with all of these characters at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Save for Quinlan, which I think is the one reason I finally got around to reading it.
And he's a good character.
Yeah.
Like, Quinlan is a really good character. The fans have been disappointed that we have not gotten more Quinlan since.
I can see why. However, I don't know if it's because, like, I haven't been sleeping as much recently.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think Christy Golden did a really good job. This book almost got me to cry a couple of times.
I mean, that's high praise coming from Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Christy Golden is a good author.
Yeah. So that's... It wasn't, like...
Obviously, I assume it wasn't from the
entire-
moment. It was from, like, just all this... From good character development.
Mm-hmm.
And, like... Because, like... Yeah, we know what happens to Ventress. And we know that she's going to be fine because she comes back to life now.
Yeah.
But when you're reading this book, you're still on that journey with them. You're still very much in those moments. And you're getting good character development because we're learning why Ventress kind of goes from this cold person to a little bit more of this warmer person. I'm not going to say warm, but warmer. Because, like, how do we get from Clone Wars Ventress to Tales of the Underworld Ventress?
Yeah.
This is how. Because even at the first episode of Tales of the Underworld, while she kind of shrugs off that kid, she's still nicer to him than, say, she would have been without this journey. And, of course, by the time she helps the Bad Batch, even more so.
Mm-hmm.
And also Quinlan's journey is just... Because he goes from somebody who's kind of overconfident and cocky to, while still a very confident individual, somebody who's learned that lesson of, okay, I need to balance out what I'm doing here. I can't just run into things thinking, oh, I'll get through it. Because that's most of the problems that happen in this book is when they go, yeah, we've got this, with, like, no actual plan.
Mm-hmm.
They just go, yeah, the dark side will be enough.
You sure about that?
Nope.
You sure about that?
And so that's kind of what happens in this book a lot. And
I think, I guess going back to me trying really hard not to cry at this book, the first time happens immediately after they like rescue the family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, those guys are dead, just objectively. And I'm like, yeah, I'd be upset too, man. I get it on that one. Because it's like, you did all of that for nothing.
I also see why these episodes would have been hard to put onto screen.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, yeah, I talked to Daniel Logan about like how like Clone Wars was becoming darker.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like Netflix would have aired it, but also at that point Disney did own it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I think now Disney would be okay with doing these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
They would probably get away with doing it. But when they first got the Star Wars license, I don't know if they would have been as like. And that's why we held off while we got the book instead, right?
Yeah.
I think the Darth Maul Son of Dathomir episodes would have been fine to air. I don't see anything that's too dark that Disney would have been
fine.
Yeah, I don't think Disney had any issues there probably, but they were probably too far down the pipeline to be ready for like the Netflix season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same with this. Even if they would have been fine with it, I think they were too far further down. Overall, though, I mean, this book is still a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Almost a 10 out of 10. Almost.
Yeah.
Like, it's right there.
Solid 9.
It's so good.
If you need a good Star Wars romance novel, go read it.
Yeah, it's a romance novel. I'd argue almost an enemies to lover arc with him and Ventress.
It's not quite, because...
There's a lot of the same tropes, though.
Yeah, Ventress is what I would categorize as a former enemy.
So, almost a frenemies to lovers.
Yeah, that's more accurate.
And so...
Moss is an annoying little shit to her Ice Queen.
Yeah.
We have a defrosting the Ice
Well,
Queen.
you've got the... I think it works because it's the classic goth girl with golden retriever boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's their energy. If you like the goth girl with the golden retriever boyfriend... It doesn't have a happy ending, though, but that's okay. It doesn't...
Sometimes things don't work out.
Yeah.
Because of circumstances being bullshit.
But everybody learns a lesson here. Well, except for Ventress. Well, until she comes back. Then she can learn it. But while she's dead, no.
It's just a brief sojourn into wherever Night Sisters go when they die.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure, though.
Some sort of weird liquidy thing, because that's all we saw of it when in Tales from the Underworld.
And I'm not sure that they don't just also turn into ghosts.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Christy Golden's writing. She's done a few Star Wars Legend stuff. She also for canon, I believe. Let me double check my sources here. It's not in here. So yeah, I think it. Yeah. So I think she also did the Phasma novel, which we haven't gotten to for obvious reasons because we're not that far in the timeline. But she has a good history of stuff. Obviously, she's done some Ravenloft, some old school Ravenloft novels for D&D. But she also wrote some of the Fate of the Jedi Legends Star Wars books. Double checking myself. Yeah, I think she did do Phasma. It's just not in here yet because when this was published, Phasma hadn't been yet. Because it doesn't even have it only goes up to the Force Awakens on the timeline in there. So that tells you. I can double check though. Double check myself. She's also done a lot of World of Warcraft books.
Mm-hmm.
No, she wrote the Inferno Squad book. That's what it is.
Ah.
So for Battlefront 2. And she did some short stories from a certain point of view. Who did? Oh, Delilah S. Dawson did Phasma. That's what it is. I sometimes get them confused when my brain's like where we're at today.
Yeah.
But no, that was a really good book. I'm glad. So Are you glad you finally got to read it after all that hype?
Yeah.
Because we talked about that in the car, but I didn't want to get your full thoughts until we were on the podcast. Because I was like,
The weird thing is it got unhyped in a way.
by having stuff revealed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, once again, I'm still of the previous way back, like everyone reacting to like Ventress being brought back from death, a mild case of it.
Yeah.
I was like, I was thinking, I'm like, how fucking bad did she get it? Because like, you guys acted like it was the second coming.
I mean, she got scorched.
I'm like, on the other hand, though, I guess I'm fortunate to have had the experience of like, I have seen enough in Star Wars to be like,
Yeah.
I can believe that someone came back from that.
I think it's more people were worried that it would take away from Dark Disciple as a story. And I think, no, I think the book is fine still.
Yeah.
I think the knowledge. I guess it's harder to tell for me because I read it with
Yeah.
when it came out. So I guess for you, it would be a situation of do you think having that knowledge took away from that scene and also Quinlan's scene of them burying her?
No.
Okay.
I think it's because I see, like, I don't know shit about Quinlan, really.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing it more from his perspective, I'm like, oh yeah, that's fucking devastating, man. Goddamn. Which makes it work, because Ventress can't have that scene on account of being dead.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure she would if the roles were reversed.
Yeah. And like I think the scene that gets to me, or at least got to me when I first read it, and kind of still gets to me, is the actual like when him and Obi-Wan go to bring her back with her sisters. And it's such a powerful scene. And it's like that's the scene where if at the very least you'll choke up. I don't think you'll cry, but you will choke up because it's such a good scene. And I actually like that it was represented in Tales from the Underworld because once again, that's the scene that we start off in that first episode with. That is the scene. Same scene, just from her perspective.
Yeah. A little bit before that, there was one thing I really liked, because I like when Obi-Wan is like Jediing as hard as a Jedi can, and he fucking goes off on the council.
Oh yeah,
in defense of Quinlan, like being allowed to go and give Ventress a proper burial.
Well, not even that. When he calls them out for like, hey, you guys are the reason that he did this assignment. Y'all are mad that he fell to the dark side doing a thing that you told him to do.
Yeah.
I was the only one who said it was a bad idea.
But you didn't want to fucking listen.
And I think this is a case of us seeing a little bit of the bureaucracy of the Jedi Council and how sometimes it gets in the way of doing, like, it's a case of, I get where they were coming from. It was a bad idea, though, to begin with.
I'm like, if you had basically hired a bunch, not of clone,
but bounty hunters.
If you'd hired a bunch of bounty hunters to do this, and you weren't Jedi, like if you had been a regular government official and hired bounty hunters to go and kill Dooku, I'm gonna say that would make more sense, right?
Yeah, like if, say, Palpatine wasn't playing both sides.
Yeah.
Like, and Palpatine's like, you know what, we need to end this war.
Yeah. Like, that is some I am sick and tired of this fucking war thing for, like, a government official to do.
And I would never see, say, Padme doing that.
Yeah.
Padme is too anti-war to do that.
But other, like, officials
somebody
in the
who's
Republic,
a little more
I think,
shady
would be okay with that.
Yeah. Bell probably also not on team, let's send assassins to... Because, like, it seems, at the very least, Padme, Mon Mothma, and Bell would be more, let's get a peace treaty together. But the more shady individuals might be more willing to go, yeah, no, let's just kill him.
Let's just fucking kill this guy. I think like the clones are like, we would gladly kill him if we could.
He's just a little too more.
He's above what we're capable. We can handle battle droids of most varieties.
We're not quite in the same weight class.
Yeah. It's like sending a dog to fight a tank. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
The dog will try.
And so I think that's probably some stuff that you, who are very critical of the Jedi, are a fan of that type of scene.
I'm like, thank fucking God. I'm like, if it was Kenobi being like, it's a case of like, Kenobi is right. In this, like,
which he 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
I would also say Yoda is probably the most self-reflective of the situation.
Yoda's like, why did I fucking agree to this? But we're in it now.
I think honestly most of them are self-reflective on it. I think Mace also, because people like, there's too many Mace haters. Mace in this book is fine. He made a decision that he felt was right in the moment, and then realized, oh, this was actually a bad idea. That is very, because we also have to give the Jedi credit that they are, for lack of a better word, human. They are human. They make mistakes still. And that's something I think too many of the Jedi are the bad guys people will try to, like, they'll be like, oh, but they let children fight in wars and stuff. It's like, one, we have Brotherhood to prove that that's not their fault. That was Palpatine manipulating situations and making laws to force them to. Two, they're human. They make mistakes. They're not these...
Like, don't get me wrong, I am harsh on the Jedi a lot.
But you are also not on the Jedi are the bad guys train either.
I'm like...
There are... It is wild to see that there are people who legit go, the Jedi are the bad guys.
I'm like, there are many things. They make bad decisions sometimes. And I do hold them more accountable than others.
Because they're in a position of power.
Yeah. However, I would do the same with anyone else.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
And
I admit sometimes my emotions do cloud my judgment.
Like, if they're in a position of power, that makes sense. And so...
I think, like, I got irritated at Mace a little bit in this book. Because I'm like, I know you're operating as the voice of, let's just fucking kill this guy. And let's be cautious and make sure, like, if you have to kill Quinlan, do it.
Yeah, because he was also, like, he was unsure about Quinlan's status. He was being just careful.
Yeah. I was like... And then Anakin's like, he said to fucking kill him if he went to the dark side. I'm like, that makes sense. Anakin would think that.
That's how Anakin would read that.
That's how Anakin always is.
It's like no, Anakin. Mace said if you need to. Keywords.
It was like, I'll fucking do it myself.
But also, Anakin would read a if as a, oh, that's a yes.
Like, I think it's because Quinlan isn't within Anakin's immediate circle.
Whereas, like, Obi-Wan and...
There are 4 people Anakin cares about in the Clone Wars in general.
Obi-Wan,
Ahsoka, Padme, Rex.
And R2.
Rex and R2. Sorry, 5. Anybody else doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. Except maybe the clones that work under Rex.
Yeah. But just to a lesser degree.
Yeah. He's like, as long as I got those 5 people... Fuck the rest of them.
Whereas we see, strangely enough, for a group that are very much about the like detachment, it's not true detachment like people kind of read. It's very much just knowing when to let things go. But we see that a lot of the other Jedi actually have better attachments than Anakin. Like, Obi-Wan is a true friend to Quinlan.
Yeah.
Like, they are, like... And it's very weird, because Quinlan is... And they make jokes about it in the book, but Quinlan's older than Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like Obi-Wan's basically a kid to Quinlan. Because Quinlan was... the idea of Quinlan as a character is from a very minor appearance in Episode 1 of just some character in the background when they're on Tatooine. And then... the Legends comics made him a character and turned him into a Jedi and all that. And now he was, like, undercover during that scene, which is why he's there on Tatooine, but Qui-Gon and them don't acknowledge him. And that kind of is stuck.
I say, like, I know how that fucking went down.
Yeah, but like that kind of just stuck, and so yeah, he's like in the background.
Ah, okay. And like from what we know,
So
and
and
like
he's already like a Jedi Knight at that point doing stuff.
yeah, I can see Qui-Gon like noticing him, but also being like, oh, okay, he's probably on a mission here, considering we're in Hut space.
And we know that Quinlan is
Is frequently sent undercover.
yeah, like that's his. Um, trying to think of his role in the Jedi, because
Yeah.
I guess when you graduate from being a Jedi, you get put on different roles.
What's your role? You're gonna operate in sting operations mostly.
What are you good at? Which honestly, psychometry is very good for that, because
Mhm.
you can use the Force to just pick up evidence all the time without actually having to like interrogate people too often.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's circumstantial evidence, so
Yeah.
you still have to like eventually convince them to give you actual evidence.
Yeah. I feel a bit bad for Maregi, but I'm also like I feel bad for him, but I'm also like you knew what would happen when you tried this. Like if it succeeded, great plan. However, it didn't work. So not so great. High risk, high reward on that gambit.
But I like Quinlan as a character, and so does a lot of the fan base. And we want more, and we have yet to get it. There have been so many times where people are like, is that going to be Quinlan?
No. You know where Quinlan is? What? Living a life of fucking peace because
He's
no
hiding.
one's going to find him.
He's hiding. He's with the Path.
Yeah.
Which we did at least get that confirmation that he's alive by Bad Batch. Which, Bad Batch Season 3 anyways. So, we at least know within a few years of the Empire operating, he's still alive. And that he's a founding member of the Path, too. Which means he helped set her up. We need that story. Give us that. Give us a book of him coming up with the Path. If you're going to be developing characters like that. But yeah, moving on though.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 9 out of 10. For me, it's like this close to 10 out of 10 though. Like it's I think if you had asked me when I first read it, when it came out, 10 out of 10. But I've had time to now kind of temper that, yeah, and kind of be like, realistically.
Speaking of the path,
Wrong path.
the path of the open hand is returned, and they have some gifts freely given.
Yeah, some fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Yum.
Yum.
Just don't eat the pit.
Yep.
So we follow two characters that are, and this is for the Galactic Tale. We are now moving to Galactic Tales: The Failing of the Light. Short story in Star Wars Insider. This takes place during the Clone Wars. It's at first starts at the start and it kind of goes to the end, so it kind of jumps throughout. But we follow this character who, Jeshi, who is on a planet that got attacked by the droids, but feels a bit of anger towards the Republic and the Jedi and kind of blames them. Basically, the whole "you brought the war to us," sort of deal. In the process, loses her family and her home, and finds this woman who gives her a gift freely given of a Yogan fruit. Thank you. My brain's like, how do I say it again? But yeah, Yogan fruit. And basically,
or if you're crazy, a Jogan.
You mean wrong. If you're just wrong, it's a Yogan fruit. So she accepts it, and we learn that yes, this is a previous member of the Path of the Open Hand from all the way back, because she is old. 150.
It's like, god damn.
And so, yeah, when I read that part, I was like, Yeah, that makes sense. Like, as soon as she said a gift freely given, I was like, well, there are a few long-lived species that it would make sense that if they were part of it when it was first happening, could still be like trying to continue the tradition now. Um, and so, yeah. Uh, Eventually, they get picked up by the Republic because the Republic's like, hey, we're going to take you refugees somewhere safe, so that way you're not dealing with this war. The options are Alderaan, Naboo, and then Coruscant, which is where R2 end up. And they end up in the lower levels, like 1313 and the bad parts.
Yeah.
Where weather has to be controlled. Which, honestly, at the very least, you could. The good part is, okay. So the bad part is no sunlight, because you kind of need sunlight to kind of just, it's healthy for you to get some. The bad part though is, the good part is though, you can control the rain. So you can make it to where, like, as long as you don't need it, no rain gets to that level, and you can probably recycle the water for other. That's what was going in my head as I was thinking about that when they mentioned the controlling of weather. I was like, the water cycle in Coruscant, you could easily just like recycle the water, and you could probably process that water and make it really last. But that's probably not what they're doing right now during the Clone Wars era. They're probably wasting it.
I think they explicitly
say they are.
We've had episodes go over that.
Yeah, we have the episode with where Padme talks about with her friend, with her handmaiden, where they're like, yeah, no, we don't have like really good electricity or water right now, and it's because we're rationing it, and it's not being rationed off well. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. And if that's on Naboo,
or that's on Coruscant, that they can't get.
The handmaid doesn't live in Naboo. Live on Coruscant, I mean.
No, yeah, that's right. She's talking about her family.
Naboo's a pretty well-off place. How bad is it in the lower levels of Coruscant? Oh wait, we've been there. Fucking bad, man.
Yeah. So we basically get the story though of. I said her name just a second ago. Jessie. Yeah, of being taught the ways of the path of the open hand, and basically being like, hey, the Jedi are awful. They are the reason this is happening because they manipulate the Force, and the Force pushes back. And like they start like basically doing like proselytizing right outside the Jedi Temple, because apparently every Force religion does.
Yep.
Apparently that's the new Jeddah, like, when it comes to that, although Jeddah still has their proselytizing too, because Jeddah is still the holy city at this point, because it hasn't been blown up yet. Thanks, Krennic.
Yep. Fucker.
Also,
like, when Jessie asks the path teacher, because I've forgotten what their name is.
I can pull it up.
She's like, so what would you, if you had the chance, what would you do with the temple? She's like, I'd make it the biggest fucking bonfire in the world.
And of course, with us having the ultimate of hindsight, well, foresight, because we know what's going to happen, we were able to go, well, hey, you're going to get your wish.
Yeah. Shame you won't be there to see it.
Yeah, it's Jesha, and then it's come on, Tunanep.
Yeah. And
so yeah, Tunanep.
After that,
there's a quake because of the Battle of Coruscant that crushes their house on Tunanep.
Yep. But not before they have the bonfire conversation where Tunanep is like, man, if I could just poison one Jedi, I'd be so fucking happy.
Yeah, because we learn that in one of the pits of these Yogan fruits is a poison that she has been holding since 100 and whatever years ago.
I thought it was like not a ligament, some shit.
It was some fruit.
I know that Jessie keeps the pit of the Yogan fruit. Oh.
Right, but she's like I think it's hidden in the Let me double check here. Yeah, I think it's in from within the pit, the Synox. Like I think it's hidden in there because
Okay.
they don't ever open it, but they keep holding it whenever they're talking about the Synox. So I think it's hidden in there
Hmm.
because she talks about, let's see, uh, carried it since I was a little, and even the scant amount I hold in here. Yeah, so I think it's in
Okay.
the. It could kill scores of Jedi. But yeah, so, um, yeah, she's been holding it for a long time. Um, she doesn't get to use it since she gets crushed by the apartments.
Yeah.
Do I feel bad about that? It was still life. That sucks. But also, you were planning murder.
Hmm. I'm thinking about this, and maybe I'm a little bit more heartless, but I'm like, no, I don't feel bad for you. You willingly admitted to wanting to poison someone who hadn't done anything wrong. Admittedly, you'd probably a cleaner death besides being crushed to death might have been preferable, but
Also, this short story gives us a timeline for Revenge of the Sith.
mhm. Holy shit, is it not as fucking long as I thought?
It takes place in 2 days.
Yeah, holy.
Or at least from the start of the film to the attack on. Actually, no, the attack on the Jedi Temple's already over by the time she gets up there.
Mhm.
It's on fire still, but it's already over. Well, no. So no, the 2 days is when the attack on the Jedi Temple happens, because it's on fire, and then we jump ahead a few more days to
Yeah.
got it. So, but yeah, so from the start of the film to Nightfall, with a K,
Mhm.
because that's the name of the mission in classic Battlefront 2 for when Anakin attacks the Jedi Temple. Uh, that's only 2 days.
Yeah, holy fuck.
I always thought like maybe a week.
Yeah. I didn't know it was like 72 hours tops.
I would say maybe the rest of the events still take place over a few
Mhm.
more. Like maybe it does reach a week by the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Like because you'd still have to take time for Obi-Wan to come back from Utapau, and then also to like discover the truth with Yoda, and then they track down everybody. So like that's probably still takes maybe probably actually only 4 or 5 days tops.
Yeah.
Not even a full week.
Also, I guess with the context of this book, Obi-Wan's "I'll do what I must" has like a, oh no, that's the thing he thinks to himself when he's like, I'm going to have to kill this motherfucker.
He's like, this is something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But also, as a Jedi, this is kind of my thing. Like, well, and also, even in Dark Disciple, that going back to the context of
Like
that.
he doesn't want to do it then either.
Well, going back to what they say though, they say, "Hey, I'm not a fan of the assassination, but if this was a straight out like Jedi versus like, because we fight him all the time,
Mhm.
like if we killed him during that, fine, but like the stealth thing and assassination feels a
Yeah.
little sketchy." So I think him fighting Anakin is kind of more similar to the former rather than the
Mhm.
assassin thing. But it's also like, this is my brother. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, he legit begged Yoda. He's like, hey, why don't you go fight
Can we
him?
switch partners?
And Yoda's like, you're not ready for Palpatine.
Neither was Yoda, but he was fucking right on.
Although he was pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, going back to the story though. So yeah, the 2 days happen because it takes her 2 days to go from the lower city to climbing out of the rubble to get to the top, because apparently that's how bad the infrastructure got after the Battle of Coruscant. To be fair, a giant Who knows how many ships were like
Yeah.
hitting like the city? Because I don't think we got full confirmation of a full ground battle in canon. I think
No.
we hear like maybe some droid forces got to the ground, but it wasn't like
Yeah, I think Battle of Coruscant is mostly a
mostly
aerial
an air.
battle.
Yeah, but even then, it's an atmosphere, which means
Yeah.
whenever they just
Some people definitely. Sorry, as is a bit of a
yeah.
grim humor moment of like, oh, that means someone's day absolutely got ruined because someone's fucking ship crashed through their
Well,
shit.
yeah, we know who. Although they don't say a ship crashed through, but like you could probably guess that's what
Yeah.
happened.
I was thinking, I'm like, it's a case of I've talked with Chris about this a while ago. Sometimes people just die funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked up, but it's true.
But yeah, so Jesha eventually gets to the top, sees that the Jedi Temple's on fire, and is like, "Hey, she got her wish.
Like, man, my mentor would be so happy about this.
If she wasn't dead."
Mm-hmm.
And then we assume, I think a few days pass. We don't get a specifics on that. And we learn that she has been trying to hunt down Jedi to use that poison, the Syntox,
Mm-hmm.
the Synox. She finds this Jedi Padawan. I assume a Padawan.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really get an age. And she basically is like, "Hey, I know what you are. It's okay. Come hide with me."
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'll protect you. And eventually they get to her place, and she starts making tea. And she's asking all these questions like, "Hey, so what really went down?"
And he's like,
He breaks down.
He's like, dude, whatever happened there, I don't know, because I saw like
this evil
fucking thing in all black murdering everyone,
Hi, Anakin.
and I ran away,
Including the younglings.
including the younglings,
Because he
which
points
tells
that
her.
out. Which
She's like, fucking what?
like, that's the first time she actually felt bad for the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Like, within this story. Because, like, up to this point, she's kind of been, like, pretty much like, yeah, all the Jedi deserved what happened to them.
And then she, like, has a moment of, oh, there were younglings there. Which I think everyone kind of knows, but it's one thing to be like, yeah, whatever, to hear from, like, one of the survivors, like, whatever was there, because he didn't get a very good look.
Yeah.
Because, you know what? Good survival instincts, kid. I'm not gonna give him shit for this one, because everyone else is fucking dead. You made the right call to run away.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh.
And that doesn't stop her from making the tea.
I don't.
So, like, that's a thing where you and I are like, so what happened? Because, like, the way it's read, it's very hard to tell if she poisoned the kid still or not.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm actually pulling this up right now. I'm actually curious to see if what Wikipedia, what their plot summary says happened. All they say is that Jesha resolved to kill him to fulfill Tunanup's belief that the Force must be free, preparing poison tea for the paddle. Because it's one of those things where she acknowledges, oh, there's innocence involved, but then she also goes, I know what I must do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, where did we land on that? I guess she does. Would be my guess. I think she does kill Ryza.
Wait, saw it. I ran. So many others stood and fought and died, but I just ran. Jedi are meant to be above fear, but I wasn't. I was a criffing coward. Reza R. describing Order 66.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. So I'm going to guess that she did. Yeah. Who told him the tea would soon be ready, after which he could rest. So yeah, I think she did. That's going to be my reading of the situation.
I'm gonna take the opposite one.
You think she let him live?
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping,
Hoping, yeah.
but I have no evidence for or against.
I'd give this a solid 7.
I'll give it an 8.
I was almost there. Yeah, I was almost thinking 8. It's a good story. It's interesting seeing the path still existing.
Mm-hmm.
Path of the open hand, I should say, because now there are 2 paths running around at the same time.
Oh.
No closed fists, though.
Nope.
Just open hand and the path. That's gonna be it for this week.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you really like our content, check out our Patreon, which is at Escape Reality Films. Also, be sure to... and also shout out to our Patreon member, Jennifer Brantley.
Woo.
Be sure to like. You can also find us at Escape Reality Films on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, TikTok, and Blue Sky. But back on Patreon, you can... I don't think we have seen you before, Man SPD. But as we were saying, on Patreon, you can check out our YouTube content before it's publicly available. Also, be sure to check out our Discord, which is also linked wherever you are watching, so you can become a part of our community. You can also check out our YouTube membership now, where you can watch our very first video essay series where we are talking about the Scream franchise.
Correction.
You're
talking about it.
Well, I say we as in the royal we on the channel, because you're part of the channel.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm doing a video essay series where I'm talking about the Scream franchise. You can watch that before anybody else by becoming a YouTube member. Also, check out our friends over at the Steam Dungeon. Is that what they're going with now? Mm-hmm. Steam Dungeon over on YouTube. They do D&D content. It's lots of fun. I think that's everything.
Yep.
Like I said earlier in the episode, we are taking a break next week, but we will be back in 2 weeks to discuss... what are we discussing in 2 weeks? Let's find out. We are talking about the Jaws of Jakku audio book, as well as Revenge of the Sith, finally, and the next Star Wars Insider short story.
All right.
So we've got a few things, but hey, we got 2 weeks, so
yeah.
See you all in 2 weeks. Well, I'll actually see y'all Monday first, and then it'll be a while. But have a good one. Bye.
Y'all be safe out there.
I've spoken.